if you have been living under the rock for at least the past 2 weeks, which is 12 years in crypto, go to hex.com no longer goes to the hex staking portal. Bridge.pulsechain.com no longer goes to the bridge. The front ends are no longer hosted by the PulseChain devs, by the hex devs, by whoever was hosting them before. So what happened now is, again, there's plenty of people who went in depth of how this stuff works and what's happened and all that, but IPFS, decentralized apps, websites, all that stuff. We have IPFS links. These 3 links here will take you to the IPFS site. And you can also download it for Windows, Mac, Linux, all of this stuff. So different versions, you can run it locally, you can run the server, you can run hex staking, you run the bridge, you can run all the other, there's like 6 apps in total, at least that have been decentralized from the official RH ecosystem. And this is, I love our devs, but this is, we took a huge step towards decentralization, totally on board. I'm on board. Let's do it. However, that has affected onboarding. The average crypto user, especially the new people who want to onboard, will come here and say, what is hashes? What is IPFS? What is DWeb? Run it from my desktop. What is this? 2017, like I want to click a button and go to web page. So I don't think it'd be like this forever. But for now, this is not better for onboarding. And again, I think I did videos. You can go look and see my suggestions for how to make this just one landing page. You click one link and then there's a little ... And if you want to do advanced nerd stuff and you understand what all this stuff means, you click that and it shows you this page. But onboards to create the most frictionless way possible to get people not to click away, not to be uninterested, to scale this stuff, needs to be simplified one way or another. And that's why the community, myself, other people have took the initiative, put in the blood, sweat, tears type of deal, and came up with alternatives to make things easier. And again, maybe the official websites will be easier one day. No expectations, right? We can't rely on them. They don't work for us. We don't work for them. We are one big happy community, and that's how we go forward. So that's what spawned this was that. So I first started off figured out a way using iframes. You don't need to know what iframe is. Google it if you want. But as a way to put a website in a website or an app in a website view, that sort of thing. So technically wise, that's one way to do it. There's all these trade-offs and you got to get the security right, or you got to notice all these things and be aware of them and all that. But at the end of the day, it works. And I haven't seen any security issues or otherwise with at least the way that I'm doing it. Again, feedback welcome. But I'll get into again the solution, and I'll talk technically about how it works as well for those interested in knowing the details. So from that, I started creating the links. I started creating gohexapp.com. So right now, if you go to gohexapp.com, it still works. Works. You can use that. You can use the other website I'll introduce in a minute too, which is hex.pulsechainapp.com. They get to exactly the same place. And literally, if you look at the code, go to right click, view page source. Depending on what browser, it may say view code or whatever. Look at the source code, 21 lines of code. The only thing that really matters is line 20, iframe source. As long as this link points to the official hash, let's compare it. Baffy RTNA. Baffy RTNA. It matches. That means you are looking at the app. If you see this, if you can compare the hash, compare the link, that means this code just says, put this, and all this other code just says, make it pretty, full frame view, don't hide anything, all that stuff. Put this app in the website. This is not a front end, like gohex.com is not a front end. It is literally, it's a gateway. That's what I've been calling it. I think Richard mentioned that the other day. He said gateways to these things. I guess you could say it's a gateway. It's literally a website that shows another website, a decentralized app in this case. It shows a website that shows a decentralized app. You're not connected to any wallets, to any of my websites. None of that stuff. There's no connecting wallets. At most you do, and I'll show you in a minute on GoRealDeFi.com, is you can switch your network to PulseChain if you want. That's the only interaction. You do not connect your wallet to any of my websites because the websites don't do anything but show you the other app. That's all. So the biggest thing here is obviously make sure this matches. Okay. We'll get into how I made that easier, all this stuff too. But again with the story. So gohexapp.com, I made goplsbridge.com, other sites to point there. And then I read a comment one day, I guess a really good comment sometimes. Somebody made a comment that, something about making a landing page. There's all these sites now. Like I started making for the bridge, started making for ETHX, started making them for the Explorer, all this stuff. And somebody's like, hey, you should make a landing page. And I was like, wow, let me click that like button real quick. And then I was like, wow, that's a great idea. Shout out to everyone told me. So I thought, yeah, there is a lot of, what would make the onboarding process easier, right? Create a landing page. Create what I would like to see when I go to go.hex.com, which is a landing page that it just has one link and it says, open Hex or go to Hex or launch Hex or whatever, instead of, what we see today. Again, I don't think it'll be forever. I think they'll be improved. Until then, community works on solutions. So that's how GoRealDeFi came about. So let's go to GoRealDeFi.com. You guys overloading the servers. Come on, demo. Actually, sorry, I already went there. Okay, here we go. Already there. Already opened it. So GoRealDeFi.com. All this is a page that contains links. Pretty little big buttons that say exactly what they do. It's been called one-stop shop for your PulseChain apps, right? Like your RH ecosystem stuff. This is not linked to community sites. It is not linked to anything but the decentralized apps that RH and team have deployed for RealDeFi, right? So I want to make this as clean and simple as possible, ruthlessly. You know how RH and team have ruthlessly decentralized everything? I want to ruthlessly make sure this page has as little friction as possible for new people. I want them to go here. I want somebody to send them here and they know exactly what to click on and they feel safe clicking on it. Okay, so you click on Hex and it goes to hex.pulsechainapp.com. Boom, there you go. Unlock MetaMask, unlock mine. Cool, got it. You can connect it just like you would regular app. And you can check. You can check to see, look at view page source. You can see exactly the same. Bathy, RT, RTNA. Let's go to the go.hex.com. Bathy, RTNA right there. So you can verify this yourself. I'll show you how you can automatically verify it in a minute. I just want to click through, click on the bridge. It goes to the bridge site. All that stuff. Again, you can right click, look at view source. You can compare it to the official. Click on the launch pad. It'll take you to the validator launch pad. You click on the Explorer. It'll take you to Scan app, which is the Explorer for PulseChain. People using Otter. Otter hasn't there's still a front end for Otter, but for the Scan PulseChain Explorer, you can use that. Go to PulseX, our favorite DEX, right? You can go there, connect your wallet, do all your stuff. And go to ethhex.com. A lot of people don't know about this, but there's a Uniswap fork here where you can trade Hex with not be censored, all that stuff. So ethhex, this is just ethhex.com. They decentralized it. If you go to ethhex.com, you can see the decentralized links just like you do all the other sites. And now you can use that. So this is, again, all the sites point to the official IPFS apps. I'm not hosting a front end. There's no front end hosting. GoRealDeFi.com is not hosting a front end. It is giving you an easier way. Again, let's talk about, we talked about the problems with it, with onboarding for this, right? Users go here, maybe they don't know what IPFS is, they click away, whatever. Which link do I click? That's a like common question. Do I click? Which one do I click? The answer is you can click any of them, but like, why is it, 3 links? It's confusing. What if I want to run on my desktop? All that stuff. This takes away all that confusion. It is like, hey, go here and you click Hex. You click Hex and you get to Hex. That's the way it should be. That's the simplest for onboarding. That is the simplest possible thing possible. And it also gets rid of the URL. So if you go here and you click on the DWeb link, it gives you a URL that looks like this. And again, if you're going to put $1 million in the PulseChain, you feel comfortable seeing a URL that doesn't look like this or this kind of URL? Do you want to see it like a random looking? Again, we know it's not random. We know it's IPFS hash link and it matches to an app and a version, all this stuff. But nobody else knows that. Nobody else should know that. Nobody should care about any of this stuff. Only thing they care about is going to do their business with whatever coins. So that's what GoRealDeFi solves, right? You click a link, you go to Hex, you get hex.pulsechainapp.com. Looks cool. It does everything that this website does, doesn't do anything else. Also, so a lot of people talk about the security portion, right? You're like, well, maybe you feel like, how can I trust this? All this stuff. I've already told you, you do not connect your wallet to any of the sites. I've already told you can verify the hashes yourself to make sure you're talking to the app that you think you are. There's a script that runs every minute on the backend server that pulls down and it looks at, so I'll show you. So on each one of these websites, you go to version.json and it will tell you the IPFS stuff. It'll tell you the releases. It'll tell you the versions. And you can see the addresses. This is the latest one. So whatever they put as the latest one, I'm pulling it. I'm updating the website to make sure it's always up to date. So whatever the latest one is here, within a minute's notice, it will point, this will point to it. So it automatically keeps it up to date. Again, to verify these hashes. So I saw, we can see the latest one there. If you click the button called verify hash, you can go, this is a separate website, a separate JSON endpoint is the technical term, a separate place. This is not part of the same server that runs GoRealDeFi.com. This is a separate app that runs, and when you click on it, it will list you. It'll say, okay, for the Hex site, for the site here on GoRealDeFi, the official IPFS link is this one. The one on the site, the one on the Hex site that's using is this one. You can see they're the same, right? And even the hash of the code, right? You go to, where's the Hex one? Let me click the Hex app. You go here, you see the code like we looked at before. If you go verify, this is a hash of all that code that has the official link, what it should look like. So even if something changes, worst case scenario, somehow the website changes, it points to a malicious app or whatever. Again, not saying it's going to happen. It could happen to literally any website in the world. I don't think it's going to happen, but let's say again, imaginary horribles, right? What if that happened? This is a separate service. So this is not even related. So even if they could change the website, they can't change this necessarily. They would need to do other stuff. So this gives you another layer of security saying this is the hash of what the website hash and what the official hash should be. So you look at this, and whatever this should be with the official link is what you would see here. So again, and it gives you a status. You go here to look at the status. If it says okay, that means everything matches. It means okay means the official hash and the one on the website are the same. So we're trusting the official website. Only trust in this entire thing is trusting the official website that lists the hash is the same. And that's all we're checking. The backend code, that's all it does is check. Are they the same? Okay. Here's the hash, the website, if you want to check that to make sure not even the code has changed. Like if one little thing changed on this, if this was a different character, if this was missing, it would change the hash entirely. So that's what I spent a lot of time trying to figure out a way. How can I let people, again, don't trust me. You don't have to trust anything. Only thing you have to trust is the official website in this, because the official website, and this pulls the data from the official website, gives you status okay. And you can see each one of these says okay. If there's a mismatch, it would say fail. And fail could be, it could fail for within the minute before the website got updated, because I've said, in that particular, time window. But generally, this should always say okay, unless, imaginary horrible happens, all this stuff. So this is a way, there may be other community websites and stuff that, are doing a similar gateway type deal. And you're like, oh, I don't know if I should trust them. So I want to make this the one place where there are no questions. There are no reason why you can't verify yourself that this thing is legit. And that's why this little button took me forever to make, not the button, but the button and the code and the deployment and the servers and all that stuff is key to that. This is key to you. Hey, technical person, if you want to go see if this website's legit, click verify hash and you can see it. Non-technical person, listen to technical person or go figure out what the stuff means and do it yourself. But there's a way to do that for experts and non-experts alike. And here, so I'm already connected to PulseChain. It says, if you weren't connected to PulseChain, it would say switch to PulseChain, give you a little button. All it does is help you switch the network if you want to. Totally optional, don't have to, but I thought that was something good for onboards too. So the security side, talk about that. I'm going to wrap up here in a minute. Sorry, I cannot get to chat right now because I'm going over time. But that, again, I think this solves a problem. I think it helps with onboarding. The goal of the website, I've had different people suggest different things, and some of the feedback I take and some of it I don't. But I want to make this as clean, clear, as crisp as possible. I want everyone that comes here to cater to new people. Maybe if you're already been around, you know how to click all the buttons, maybe don't use this. Although I use it, I use this. When I want to go to PulseX or whatever, I come here and I click it. I want to go to Bridge, I come here and click on Hex and stuff. Because I don't want to go to the IPFS website and do the second click, right? Even though I know how to do it, I don't want to do that. I just want to click a link and done. So I use it. One link, no downloads, no friction, minimal friction. And I think that was a goal for the website. So, and let me just explain about PulseChain app real quick. So again, if you click these, all the old websites work. GoPLSapp.com, all that stuff still works. I've just used this new domain. So when you click a link, it just looks like, PulseChain app sounds kind of cool, sounds legit, right? And it just goes to that domain, ethhex.pulsechain domain, hex.pulsechainapp.com, all that stuff. So there are two domains technically. If you go to PulseChain app, you go to pulsechainapp.com, it comes up. So you can use either one. I like GoRealDeFi the best, and I just want to use PulseChain app for the different apps. So again, if you have any feedback, let me know. Again, I may take it, I may not. No expectations, right? Okay, I want to keep this simple and clean as possible. If there's something confusing or some question you have, you don't feel like you could trust it, or don't feel like it's something, you see something confusing for yourself, or new onboards or whatever, feel free to add me on Twitter, drop a comment, whatever too. Again, my whole goal is to make this, it could be one-stop. I didn't come in saying to make this one-stop shop, but people have said, so me coffee and stuff. They've been making videos and stuff like one-stop shop for PulseChain, the RHMax and the decentralized stuff. So that's kind of cool. Didn't really think about it that way, but yeah, I like it. So